Hi, boys and girls. Today we are going to continue with intervals of time 3A. Now, for this one, notice that in letter A, they are asking us for the end time, for the start time, and they are giving us the duration, how long the event took. So we're going to go ahead and start by looking at the end time. And to do that, we're going to be looking at the analog clock. So remember, the first thing I do is I'm going to go ahead and cut the clock in half. And we say right goes up, left goes down. Now we're going to go ahead and start by doing the minutes. Not start, continue, sorry. 30, 35, and then 40, 45, 50, 55, and then we get to a clock. So we're going to go ahead and look for the hour. What hour is it? The hour hand is the little one, and it's pointing between 6 and 7. So remember, if it's on the left-hand side, we're going to look at the arrow down. That means the number who is down. Who is down, the 7 or the 6? In this case, it would be 6. So the hour is 6 o'clock. How many minutes? The minute hand is pointing to the 4. That means 20 minutes. Now on here, they're giving me the duration. And they want me to start to find the start time. So I'm going to go ahead and get another sheet of paper so I can do my work. And remember, we do not know the start time. So start, we do not know. But we do know that the end was 6:20. And we also know that the event took 30 minutes. So from here to here, it was going to be 30 minutes. Now, since we know the end time, but we do not know the start time, we have to work backwards. So what does that mean? I'm going to start by looking at 6:20, and I need to take away 30 minutes. Since I have 20 minutes here, I'm actually going to do one hill, and I'm going to jump back 20 minutes. If I'm at 6:20 and I take away 20 minutes, I am going to get to 6 o'clock. Now, we're going to go ahead and think. We needed to go back 30 minutes. I already jumped back 20 minutes. How many more minutes do I need? 0 minus 0 is 0. 3 minus 2 is 1. I still need to go back 10 more minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back 10 minutes. So if I'm at 6 o'clock and I turn back, I go back 10 minutes, what would that be? So we're at 6 o'clock, so we're going to go into the hour before. That means 5 o'clock. How many minutes? Remember, a clock means 60 minutes. If I'm jumping back 10 minutes, that would mean I'm going to 50. So my start time is 5:50. 5:50. Okay, we can also do that by subtracting. Why are we subtracting? Because remember, when we add, our total is going to get bigger. In this case, my end time is 6:20, so we cannot get bigger. We actually need to go back to the start. So I'm going to take 6:20. Remember, these are hours, these are minutes. And I'm going to take away my duration. My duration is 30 minutes. And we're going to subtract. So So if I have 0 minus 0 is going to be 0. 2 minus 3, you can't. So we have to regroup. So my hour is going to become 5. Now be very careful. When we regroup 1 hour to the minutes, it is not going to become a 12 because 1 hour has 60 minutes. So when it's giving me that 1 hour, I'm actually getting 60 minutes. If I already had 20 and I got 60, how many minutes is that? 60 plus 20, 0 plus 0, 0, 6 plus 2 is 8. So in actuality, it became 80 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and write 80 minutes. Now I subtract. 8 minus 3 is going to be 5. How many hours? 5 hours minus nothing is 5. Notice that we got the same answer. Sorry, this one, the start time. Now let me go ahead and go to number 2. So my start time was 5:50. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, I'm going to do letter E. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the clock in half. Right goes up, left goes down. Our minutes, a clock, this is 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 55 minutes, and then we get to the 60. Remember, a clock means 60 minutes because 1 hour has 60 minutes. Notice that we know the duration. So I'm going to start with my end time. I'm going to look at the hour hand. The hour hand is the little one, and it's pointing between 5 and 6. Since it's on this side, the arrow says to look up. So who is up? 5 o'clock. How many minutes? My minute hand is pointing to the 5. That means 25 minutes. So it is 5:25. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next page so I can do the work. Do we know our start time? We do not know start, so I'm going to put a question mark. Do we know the end time? Yes, we do. It's 5:25. Do we know the duration? 1 hour, 15 minutes. Yes, we do. So from here to here, we're going to jump 1 hour, and I believe it was 15 minutes. Yes, 15 minutes. 1 hour, 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and start. First things first, it is 5:25. The easiest for me is going to be to jump 1 hour because we're going to literally go back 1 hour. So I'm going to go ahead and do one hill. We're going backwards. And, mountain. And this mountain is going to be 1 hour. So if it's 5:25 and I go back 1 hour, it's going to be 4:25. I still need to go back 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and do a mountain for 15 minutes. If I have 25 minutes and I take away 15 minutes, where am I going to get to? 5 minus 5 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. So that means I'm going to go back to 10. So my start time is going to be 4:10. Let's go ahead and do that by using the algorithm. My start time was 5:25. These are my hours, and these are my minutes. And I'm going to take away. Remember, we have to take away because we're going back. we have to take away our duration, which was 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I'm going to say 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I'm going to say 25 minus 15. 5 minus 5, 0. 2 minus 1, 1. Notice that we did not have to regroup there. 5 minus 1 is 4. Did we get the same start time? We sure did. So my start time is going to be 4:10. I'm going to go ahead and do letter G. For letter G, first step, cut the clock in half. Remember, right goes up, left goes down. I'm going to do my minutes, a clock, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, 45, 50, 55, and then we get to a clock, which is going to be the 60. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the end time. I start by looking at the hour, which is a little small one, and it's pointing between 3 and 4. The arrow says to look up. Who is up? 3 o'clock. How many minutes? It's pointing to the 2. 2 means 10 minutes. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get another sheet of paper so I can do my work. Remember, I do not know start, but I do know my end. My end is going to be 3:10. Do we know the duration? Yes, we do. The duration is going to be 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I'm going to go back and it's going to be 2 hours, 20 minutes. The easiest thing for me is to do the hours first. So I'm going to go ahead and do one big mountain, and the mountain is 1 hour. So if I'm at 3:10, if I take 1 hour away, it's going to be 2:10. I still need to take away 2 hours, so I need 1 more hour. So I'm going to go back another mountain, which is going to be 1 hour. If I was at 2:10 and I take 1 hour away, it's going to be 1:10. I still need to take 20 minutes away. So if I am at 10 minutes, and I'm probably going to have to extend this one a little bit further so I can show you my work. So if I'm at 1:10 and I need to take 20 minutes away, so I can go ahead and do a mountain for 10 minutes. So that would get me to 1 o'clock. But I needed 20 minutes and I only took 10 away. So how many more minutes do I need? 10. Now remember, a clock means 60. So if I take away 10, I'm going to be going over to 50 minutes. But it was 1 o'clock. So since we're going to the hour before, is going to be 12. So my start time would be 12:50. I'm going to prove it by using my standard algorithm. 3:10 minus my duration, which was 2 hours and 20 minutes. So if we look at it, 10 minus 20, we cannot subtract 10 minus 20. What do? We're going to have to regroup. So my hour is going to become 2. Remember, since the hour is giving me the minutes, 1 hour has 60 minutes. If you already had 10 and they gave you 60, how many minutes would that be? 60 plus 10 is 70. So now I'm going to subtract the 70 minus the 20. 0 minus 0, 0. 7 minus 2, 5. How many hours? 2 hours minus 2 hours is going to be, and you're going to think that it's going to be 0. But let's think about this. If you are at 2 o'clock, this is 2 o'clock, and you're going to go back 2 hours. So 1 hour would be 1. 1 hour would be 12. So it's not really 0. It's going to be 12. So those are little things that you have to be careful with. But if you would get your answer to be 0, that should be a red flag. Like, we don't have an hour that is 0. We only have, at the beginning, I told you, we start with 12. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we get to the PM section. So my answer would be 12:15. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do letter D. Letter D, first thing, I'm going to go ahead and cut my clock. Remember, right goes up, left goes down. These are going to be 0, 0, and then we have 5, and then we have 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. This is my hour hand because it's the little one. It's pointing between 12 and 1. Since the arrows on this side, we're going to look up, which we're going to get the hour 12. How many minutes? It's pointing to the 40. To the 8, so that means 40. So my end time will be 12:40. Remember that in these problems, we do not know the start time, but we do know the duration. The duration was going to be 45 minutes. So we're at 12:40 and we're going to jump back 45 minutes. So the first jump that I'm going to do is going to be a mountain for 40 minutes. Why 40? Because it's 12:40. So I'm going to take away those 40 minutes since we needed to have 5 minutes. So if we jump back 40, we would get to 12. I'm not done yet because I need 5 more minutes. The duration was 45 minutes. So I'm going to do another jump for 5 minutes. If I'm at 12 o'clock and I go back 5, where would I get to? Remember, this means a clock, which is 60 minutes. So if I have 60 and I take away 5, where am I going to get to? 0 minus 5, we cannot. So we regroup and the 5 becomes 6 becomes a 5. The 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 minus nothing is 5. If we go back 5 minutes, we're going to get to 55 minutes. What hour would that be? Since we're going back, we have 12. What hour comes before 12? 11. So my start time is 11:55. I'm going to go ahead and do the standard algorithm. So it is 12:40. I'm going to take away 45 minutes. By looking at this problem, I have 40, take away 45. We're not going to be able to, so we're going to have to regroup. So if we regroup, he's going to give me 1 hour, so he's going to become 11. But remember, when he gives me the hour, he's giving me 60 minutes. I already had 40. So how many minutes is that? 60 plus 40 equals 6 plus 4 is going to be 10. That means 100 minutes. So now, those 100 minutes, we still need to take away the 45. 100 minus 45. We cannot subtract, so we're going to regroup, and my 1 becomes a 0. The 0 becomes a 10. I regroup again, so this one becomes a 9, and the 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 4 is 5. 0 minus nothing is 0. So I'm left with 55 minutes, and my hour would be 11. Did we get the same answer? We sure did. So my start time is 11:55. I'm going to go ahead and do letter H. Miss Pearson spent 2 hours and 40 minutes baking cookies for a party. Spent, that is duration. So my duration is going to be 2 hours, 40 minutes. If she finished, that means end, baking the last batch at 7:35. What time did she start? So we're looking for start. First thing, I'm going to cut the clock in half. Right goes up, left goes down. I'm going to start with my minutes. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and 55. So I'm going to get another sheet of paper. And remember that our start time, we do not know, but we do know that the end was at 7:35. And actually, if you notice, they already gave us the end time, so we don't even have to look at the clock. So I'm going to go ahead and go and do my end time was 7:35. My start time, I do not know, but we do know that it took 2 hours and 40 minutes. 2 hours, 40 minutes. The easiest thing for me is to do the hours first. So I'm going to do 1 hour. If I go back 1 hour, I have 7, so it would be 6:35. I'm going to go back another hour because we needed to go back 2 hours. So that would be 5:35. And let me go ahead and extend my number line. So I'm at 5:35. I already did the 2 hours, but I still need to jump the 40 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my minutes. It is 35, so I'm going to jump those 35 minutes. That would get me to 5 o'clock. But we're not done. We needed 40 minutes, and I only did 35. That means we need 5 more. So I need to jump 5 minutes. Where am I going to end? Remember what I was telling you earlier? A clock means 60. So if we do 60 minus 5 is going to be 55 minutes. So we're going to end at 55 minutes. We're at 5 o'clock. So that means we need to go back the hour. So it's going to be 4:55. We can check this by looking at doing our standard algorithm. So my end time was 7:35. I'm going to take away 2 hours and 40 minutes. Now, if you notice the minutes, it's 35 minus 40. We are not going to be able to do that. We're going to have to regroup. So my 7 is going to become a 6. But when he's giving me the hour, that means he's giving me 60 minutes. So how many minutes is that going to be? 60 plus 35 is going to be 0 plus 5 is 5. 6 plus 3 is 9. 95 minutes. Now I'm going to take the 95 and I'm going to subtract the 40. 5 minus 0, 5. 9 minus 4, 5. So I am left with 55 minutes. 6 hours minus 2 hours is going to be 4. So my start time, if you notice, is the same, 4:55. Okay, so I did most of these problems with you. I didn't get to do B, C, and F, but you are going to be responsible to complete the next page, which will be intervals of time 3B, page 1, 1 through 8. And then you also have 9, 10, 11, and 12 on intervals of time 3B, page 2.